Good evening, I'm Duncan Gollestani. In June last year, 20-year-old Alexander Kareem was shot and killed as he rode his scooter to a friend's house in Shepherd's Bush. Today, on the day he would have turned 21, his brothers are appealing for anyone with information to come forward about why Alexander was so brutally taken from his family. Carolyn Sim has more.
Today should have been a day of celebration as their younger brother Alex turned 21. Instead, this.
Still yesterday I was still thinking, what should I get him for his birthday? It's tough. I'm still on internet looking for presents that he would have liked.
It is hard every day, but when it comes to occasions such as today, his birthday, it does hit you differently to the other days.
Alexander Kareem was shot dead as he made his way to a friend's house on his electric scooter in Shepherd's Bush last June. 9 months on, whoever killed him still hasn't been caught.
Yes, Alex!
The family have shared this new video today in the hope that anyone watching who has information about what happened that night will understand their loss and speak up.
It's like being stabbed, wound open, and it can't close until the killers have been caught. That's the only way I can describe it, that the wound is still open, still bleeding. It feels like the life's just getting sucked out of us.
Police know that whoever shot Alex was travelling in this car, a white Range Rover, which was spotted on CCTV. 25 minutes after the shooting, the car was found burnt out and abandoned 3 miles from the scene.
The vehicle itself was on cloned plates, but we do know through a vast CCTV trawl of London, it travelled through multiple London boroughs. Ealing, Brent, Hammersmith and Fulham. So anybody that has any details of that movement during that evening or before, please come forward. I believe this is the key to the investigation.
These people, they don't deserve respect. They do not deserve respect nor protection.
Do the right thing and let us have justice, let us have peace.
There is a £10,000 reward for information that leads to the conviction of Alex's killer and closure for this heartbroken family. Carolyn Sim, ITV News.
The victim of a fatal stabbing in Hounslow has been named as 21-year-old Renato Getchi. Police were called to a disturbance at Granville Avenue where they found 2 men suffering with stab wounds. Renato was treated by paramedics but died at the scene. A second man, also aged in his 20s, was taken to hospital but has since been discharged. This morning, a 31-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder and a 27-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of assisting an offender. Both remain in custody. The families of Jack Merritt and Saskia Jones, the 2 people killed in the 2019 London Bridge terror attack, say they are concerned evidence surrounding their deaths may be kept secret. At a pre-inquest hearing today, an application was made by MI5 for material to remain hidden in the interests of national security. The evidence could shed light on whether MI5 and police failed to prevent the attack in 2019. A full inquest is due to start on April the 12th. Police investigating the fatal stabbing of a 17-year-old in Walthamstow have made 5 arrests. Boubacar Jabi was attacked in Westbury Road in October last year. He died of a stab wound to the chest. 2 men aged 18, 2 males aged 17 and 1 aged 15 were arrested on suspicion of murder earlier today. Police have released CCTV footage of a man they want to identify following a series of sexual offences in North London. They believe 3 incidents in January and February in which 2 teenage girls and a woman in her 20s were targeted are linked. The youngest victim was a 12-year-old girl whom the suspect approached in the street in Stamford Hill and exposed himself. Next tonight, Green Party candidate Sian Berry has launched another bid to become London Mayor. A renter herself, she's committed to making sure controls are in place to stop tenants paying over the odds. Our political correspondent Simon Harris joined her as she hit the streets of Hackney.
Knocking on doors in lockdown is now allowed, so long as you're a politician chasing votes. Which is why Sian Berry was out in Clapton at the start of her campaign to be London's next mayor. Her flagship policy is a demand for private landlords to face rent controls.
I would like to be able to set up an independent body to determine the right rent levels for London in different areas.
The mayor doesn't have that power.
Well, that's the power I'm seeking from government, and we need a campaigning mayor who'll work with mayors from other cities to win the power.
Georgia, who rents from a private landlord, didn't need convincing.
I think something needs to be done about rents. They're out of control. They bear no relation to sort of, what people earn or what people can afford. And it just means that landlords can really charge whatever they want. And because people are in a desperate position, people need somewhere to live, they're going to pay it.
Sian Berry is no stranger to City Hall politics. She was the Green Party's candidate in 2008. This is Sian Berry's third attempt to be London mayor. 5 years ago, she got more votes than the Lib Dems. But the opinion polls suggest her chances of becoming the next mayor are extremely remote. But even if it isn't third time lucky, Berry will be hoping for some success in the form of hanging on to her seat on the London Assembly. You've tried twice before to be Mayor of London. Why put yourself through it again?
I really want to be Mayor of London. That's why I'm doing it for the third time.
If you're not the next Mayor of London, would more seats on the Assembly for the Greens be a result?
I think if we do get another Labour mayor, we need Greens on the Assembly holding that mayor to account.
It's 21 years since Londoners first elected a mayor. In that time, the battle for the top job at City Hall has always been a two-way fight between Conservative and Labour. There's little sign that this delayed contest will be any different. Simon Harris, ITV News.
The new £50 note honouring the mathematical genius Alan Turing has been revealed. Persecuted in his lifetime by the authorities for being gay, Turing's work in decoding messages during the Second World War saved countless lives. His nephew said he's proud of his uncle, but feels that representation needs to go a lot further. Lewis Warner reports.
More than 65 years since his death, Alan Turing is again making history. Today, a first look at the design of the £50 note that places the computer pioneer and codebreaker alongside Her Majesty the Queen. His family, proud of the banknote, are keen to talk about diversity in the sciences.
We still see that women are massively underrepresented in computer science, that black and ethnic minority kids are massively underrepresented in STEM subjects at A-level. These are things we need to work on. What the £50 note thing does for us, particularly with its diversity message, is it enables us to focus on these problems and actually get to work on them.
Born in Maida Vale in 1912, Turing went on to be instrumental in breaking the Nazi Enigma code, allowing the Allies to divert forces away from danger, undoubtedly saving countless British lives. But despite his revolutionary work at Bletchley Park, 10 years later he was arrested for being gay and convicted of gross indecency. He died in 1954, with an inquest finding he took his own life. Today, those who've campaigned for more diversity on banknotes believe this is a missed opportunity.
Current notes in the past have been Winston Churchill, Charles Darwin, Jane Austen, James Watt, a whole range of people, but not one person of colour. That has to change.
This will be the first £50 note made of polymer, and in a fitting tribute, it will enter circulation on June the 23rd. The birthday of one of the country's greatest mathematicians. Lewis Warner, ITV News.
And finally, how much would you pay for a second-hand suit covered in cigarette burns? Well, what if it was a suit worn by the iconic Life on Mars singer David Bowie? A suit that the London-born musician left in a Covent Garden club after a night out in the 80s, sold at auction for £8,000 this afternoon. On to the weather now. Here's Sally with the forecast.
Making the most of it, whatever the weather. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello there, and a very good evening to you. Well, the tulips are just starting to emerge, but I'm not sure the weather will show them off too much tomorrow. Wet and blustery, but as we go towards the weekend, things are looking drier, and for Saturday at least, a bit brighter. Now, temperature-wise, it's going to be cooler tomorrow, but temperatures should recover as we go through towards the second half of the weekend. So out there tonight, we have still got a few showers that'll crop up. The odd one could be a bit sharp. The wind's picking up as we get towards dawn, but it shouldn't be too chilly. We should have lows of about 7 or 8 8 degrees. So not as cold as it was this morning, but we do start tomorrow with further sunshine, hopefully, and a few showers as well. As we go through the morning, we're going to start to see from the west, from about late morning, those showers forming into a more organised band of rain, and they will move eastwards throughout the afternoon. It will be quite blustery and gusty out there as well. And look at those temperatures, highs of only 7 or 8 degrees, so quite a bit cooler. And in fact, if there's any further showers in the evening on higher ground, the odd one could be a little bit wintry. But as we go into Saturday, things are improved. We might even see a bit of sunshine, quite cloudy for Sunday and Monday and a touch breezy, but those temperatures beginning to recover. I'll see you later on. Good night and sleep well.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
And that's it from us. We're back bright and early during Good Morning Britain from 6 a.m. For now, though, from all of us here, very good night.